Welcome to the hunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Huntcast Podcast, episode number 14. Today, June the 30th, lovely Sunday full of rain showers here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
We got a great show for you today. We're going to wrap up ASA Metropolis, the land of Superman. ASA was out there this past weekend, and they dealt with some heat. I saw a bunch of the people posting pictures and cooling towels and all that fun stuff that goes along with it. So we'll start off with Open Pro. When I saw the boards after 20, Jacob was not in the lead, but Jacob made up some ground pretty quick. So Jacob Sluzar came in first in men's Open Pro, followed by Levi Morgan and then Brady Myers, who's another PA guy. Women's Unknown Pro, Cara Kelly, and I found this out at IBO, and I don't think we mentioned this when we talked about me shooting at IBO, is Cara is the marketing manager for Numa Outdoors.
Yeah. We spoke about it, but not during the...
Yeah, that's right. Maybe that's what it was. We didn't mention it on there.
Yeah.
So she came in first in women's unknown, followed by Sharon Wallace, and then Mrs. Emily McCarthy came in third. Senior Pro, big shout out to my man BC, Darren Christenberry. He is the head of the elite factory staff. So he came in, he was down quite a bit going in day two, shot his butt off and came out with the finish strong in the shoot down. Tony Taza came in second, and Brian Wallen came in third. It took me a minute because I couldn't read my chicken scratch. And that might actually be more than not Wallen, but I was writing fast.
Yeah.
Known Pro, James Lutz came in first, Kyle Douglas in second, and Lewis. Man, what the heck did I do? I was writing real fast because I can't read my writing today. Let's see who that was. That was Known Pro, Lewis Price. Sorry, Lewis. Butchered that on you. Senior Known, Dougie's buddy. The Hammer.
Yeah.
He came in first. Old Timmy G. Randy Morocco in second. And Scott Darnell. Man, I butchered these today. Darnell, I was right. Women's Known. We had Morgan Reeves and Mrs. Paige Pierce and Rendon Brooks. And you've heard us mention this name a couple times, and he started listening to the podcast now and loves it when we give him a little shout out. And our boy Mikey Woolner out of Western PA, where West Central PA, came in second. I saw his scorecard after day one. He had some troubles, came back, finished strong, came in second place.
Nice.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
Just doing an awesome job this year.
Yeah, good for him.
So I know what the echo was now. The air. I have to block that mic.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. So that was ASA. So that was out in Illinois. It was Matthews Pro-Am. And like I said, they dealt with some heat and no rain, thank God.
Yeah.
But overall, good weekend. Congrats to everybody that podiumed. And before we bring on our special guest, our first live special guest onto the show, Dougie's going to talk a little bit about what's going on here in PA.
Yeah, so here in PA, the hunting licenses became available on the 28th, right? And doe tags are available as of the 28th, but no need to rush.
Right.
You're guaranteed, all residents are guaranteed their doe tag up until July 7th.
Correct. First round only.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
So after July 7th, then there's no more guarantees.
Right.
But
when you can have a mini heart attack. But right now, just relax.
Yes.
Just chill out.
Everyone relax. Yes. So, yeah, just don't wait too long. You got a week.
Yep.
So,
and don't forget Thursday is Independence Day, so that may screw a couple things up. Yeah. I don't know how badly it'll screw things up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
yeah, no need to worry. Just
don't freak out. But
do it.
Yeah, exactly.
This week. So that's it as far as
quick wrap up.
Yeah.
We have, as I said a couple of minutes ago, we have our very first live on-air guest, and we're going to bring him here in a minute. I'm going to give you a little prelude. So we met Sam because he liked the Facebook post, the Archery Fest page.
Yeah.
And I had no idea who it was. So I jumped on and clicked on his page and was trying to figure some stuff out and found out what he did, and literally called him on a Sunday afternoon and I was like, hey man, I'm so-and-so. This is what we do. How would you like to come to Pennsylvania? Thankfully, Sam was a very good guy, and he was like, yeah, it sounds like a cool plan. So Sam Westfall from Archery in Motion is here with us tonight via cell phone. He wasn't coming back to Pennsylvania just for this. So,
No.
Sam, how are you, buddy?
I'm awesome. How are you guys?
Good. Glad to have you on.
Yeah. Welcome.
And you are the first one, our first live interview.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
So talk to us, Sam. Give us a little bit about yourself first.
Sure. So Sam Westfall, CEO and founder of Archery in Motion. Spent some time in the Army as an M1 Abrams tank mechanic. Got medically injured and discharged, and then spent the next 22 years working in an IT career. On top of all of that time period, I've been a hunter and competitive shooter, both firearms and archery, for going on 4 decades now. So I took all that experience, decided I wanted to do something different, and decided to create my own moving target platform under Archery in Motion. So I can take 3D archery targets or firearms targets and put them on a platform, make them move around so that people can have a more realistic practice scenario when they're shooting.
Awesome. And that's what keyed me to when I saw what Sam did and what he made. That phone call happened. I'm pretty Sam, it was a Sunday. Am I correct?
It was.
Yes.
Like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I remember it being in the afternoon, and my wife was like, "Who are you calling? It's a Sunday." I'm like, "I got to talk to this guy."
Yeah.
So, so Sam mentioned Archery in Motion. So, what kind of gave you the idea to do this?
You know, so let's call it 14 years ago, I switched over from a firearms competitor over to archery side, both on the hunting world as well as competitively. And the one thing I noticed was the longer I've shot, the longer I've got into the competition world. And you just talked about it a minute ago, right? All those folks that are podium placing on stationary targets.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. It's not. That's kudos to all of them. But it is still a stationary target.
Yeah.
And when you're hunting in the western states, Colorado, Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, you are really predominantly dealing with an animal that's still on the move. And so rather than seeing a number of animals get wounded because of bad shot placement or people not understanding or practicing on that moving target, I decided there got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And so I took my background in the tank mechanic world and then my background in the IT world, said, okay, there's got to be a way that I could smash these together, identify and design a platform that can accommodate for anything. And up until Pennsylvania, we had some really great successes. Pennsylvania, we learned a lot because that's a whole different type of terrain.
Yeah.
So we've accommodated for that. We've got some great accommodations in the devices now, and they're working a lot better. So yeah.
That's
Good.
awesome. Yeah. And so we felt bad because we put Sam's platforms to the test for sure at Archery Fest. You know, as he just said, the terrain varies. You know, we still have a lot of grass in our mountains where, you know, most of the stuff out west is a little bit rocky, a little bit drier. And we found out that the slick grass mud mix doesn't play very nice with the platform. But so it was a, you know, thankfully it worked out well. You know, everybody that shot the targets loved them, but it also gave Sam more information on what, you know, would need to be done to his platforms to make them stand up to just about anything gets thrown at them.
Yeah.
I can tell you after that weekend out there, we've revised and revamped and we're rock solid now. So
that's awesome.
The one thing that, you know, Greg challenged me when we first got there, he said, you know, I want the Reinhardt iron butt target on a moving target platform for the novelty shot. And while my platform's drilled and designed for all 3D foam archery, the iron buck's a little bit different mounting, so we had to figure out how to accommodate for that, solve that problem, and then we worked through the rest of it.
Yeah,
but we've learned a lot and adapted a lot. Now it's just bigger and better.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you have been, you know, I reached out to you, never had met you, never talked to you prior to that, kind of gave you what we did, and you've been to other shoots. So give us your lowdown because you've seen different shoots now. You've been to different shoots. And, you know, we're on the East Coast, so it's a little different. We don't get a lot of the shoots that you guys have out there. give us a comparison. What's the word I'm looking for? An in-industry comparison to some of the shoots that are out there.
Sure. So I've done Colorado TAC for 5 years, shot in the Western Hunt Fest and the Mountain Archery Fest events, beast mode as well. What I found in most of those is that, especially in the Western states, we deal with a lot of really long range shots and some steep angles, and occasionally through some really thick trees. Coming out to Mountain Archery Fest was a little bit different. Is not only did you have to fight a little bit of the weather, the ticks, but then you've got a totally different set of terrain that you're playing with. Altitude is much lower. Yeah. That was awesome because I was able to breathe like there was no tomorrow.
Yeah.
But going from target to target, seeing kind of what the different shot scenarios look like, and even how, at some level, how the arrows were flying in that different environment. Definitely different scenarios, different examples, and seeing at some level a different level of archer. Talking with some of the folks as I was running the moving target, they're used to shooting out of tree stands at 10 feet out from 15 to 20 feet up.
Yeah.
And taking a shot on a 60-yard out target that's moving was a whole different world for a lot of them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Greg, I think you still now have the record for the longest shot. Is that true?
To my knowledge, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think anybody has surpassed that. And we did have a guy center punch it on the first day.
That's all kinds of impressive.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was... I videoed a shot that we did for Mamba Archery with one of their new arrows, and I missed. And I thought for sure all day long I had this shot down because I knew exactly where I was with my pin, what the arrow was going to do, all that fun stuff. But there was a gentleman on the first day. He was actually out at TAC 7 Springs as well, because one of the other vendors said that he saw him, but center punched it 11 ring, 141 yards with a cut, and dunked it in the 11 ring. So
crazy.
Yeah.
That's a serious shot.
Yeah. And I made the target big enough thinking, at least if somebody misses it, they're going to still catch foam, hopefully. Was not the case. We picked up a lot of arrows over there.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
anything past 120 gets pretty serious for a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, especially, there's some people that shoot some of these shots that have real short draw lengths and stuff, and their scope's getting in the way. So they have to dial to where their scope is clear and then, hold 10, 12 feet above a target to hopefully hit it.
And that's just it. You got guys like me, with a 28-inch draw. My pin is, my pin, like 105 is about max for me.
Yep.
So anything out to 140, that's just guessing at that point.
Yeah.
And there's very few guys that have 140.
Oh yeah. I don't think he had a 140-yard pin.
I'm sure he
held real good, and it was more luck. But that's still, to center punch it. I mean, hitting it is one thing, but the center punch in 11, at that distance is a lot.
Yeah, it is. Now there's a couple tricks that you can help to get out there, right? So if you're a 3-fletch person, you can take your arrow, flip it upside down so that the stock fletching is on the bottom.
Yep.
And that helps.
Yep.
And then there's the old school trick called pin gapping.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got 100 yards as your bottom pin, you put your 100 pin on it. You look at where the 80 pin is. You move your 100 pin to where you're 80. And in theory, now you're at 120.
Right.
So you've got tricks to get out there. Yep. Rather than trying to just Kentucky windage it.
I might have done that.
Yeah.
I did. I kind of just went off my bottom pin. I knew it was 110. And I figured, okay, if I hold about here, this should give me the arc. And was not the case.
Yeah. And there's just so many variables too at that point.
Yeah.
The wind.
Oh, absolutely.
And, at that distance, and especially at that location where that target was, that was kind of like the
around there.
But it was like the north side, northwest side of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much where the wind was coming from. So it's just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
Yep. And it was down in that draw,
Yep.
Flying the drone over top of that just to see where it was and how to get there. It was, it's down there a ways.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing too. So not only, Sam there with Archery in Motion, he's the guy behind all those awesome.
Yeah. So all those shots that we posted, video, he flew that thing all over the place.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So, but
it was having fun.
Yeah, well, man, I mean, we're glad you came out. Obviously, definitely became friends quick. Everybody loved you guys, and down the road, I'm sure there'll be a lot more that we do together.
Oh,
so for people so they get an idea. So the moving target that we had on course was a buck target, and we had that kind of walking out of the wood line into the opening.
Yeah.
Quartering two,
kind of. Yeah.
Not too crazy.
No, not real hard, but it was definitely getting closer to you as it approached.
Right. So, Sam, explain to our listeners how you have people shoot the target so that they get a better understanding of it.
Sure. So the fun part of with the way that the system is designed is the plate on the main cart is drilled diagonally so that you can accommodate for either a quartering to or quartering away shot, depending on how you mount the target onto the plate. That's all well and good. As far as the overall system goes, whether you want to have it moving, full broadside, side to side, or if you want to angle it towards you or away from you, or even directly towards you or away from you, it can accommodate any or all of the above. The 100-yard wireless controller can really make it so that you can put the target out there and really have some fun shots.
Right.
Not 41 yards at a steel plate mover. That's just rude.
Yeah.
Funny, but rude. So you've got a lot of wiggle room as far as how you can set it up and what it's capable of doing, knowing that it's capable of supporting a target anything from the armadillo all the way to the full-size buffalo.
Yeah.
Gives you a lot of flexibility as far as target size and stability. And again, after Pennsylvania, we learned a lot more about how to rigidize that so it's more structured and less flexible.
Yeah. Awesome. And I know, we talked at the shoot. Your friend Bob was there. He gave us some lowdown. He helped train most of our volunteers, the remotes, because again, you guys had a booth there. We didn't want you guys to be stuck out on the slopes. So we tried to make sure we had guys that knew how to run it. But you have some other stuff in the works as far as archery in motion.
Yes, we do. So while we were out there, we had the two straight line movers, an 8-footer and a 10-footer. And that's just straight line worth of 8-foot linear distance for a 10-foot linear distance. We got one in just about into testing phase. We're working through the last couple of issues in the QA phasing. And then we're calling it the monster because really that's what it is. It is a self-propelled cart that can do a 46-foot oval track.
Wow.
Giving you
awesome.
quartering to, quartering away, broadside, frontal, and 12-foot distance changes, all in the same shot scenario. The platform, again, will hold anything from the armadillo to the buffalo. And the battery, that's, again, because it's a self-propelled unit now, the battery will last about 6 hours, depending on the size of the target.
That's awesome.
A lot of really cool flexibility out of that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see that on the course. I already have thoughts in my head. You're talking about how it's going and looking in my mind, picturing a target, set up and moving around some pine trees or something.
Yeah.
To create, a super easy shot, or holy crap, you're expecting me to hit that?
Yeah. There is no easy shot on this one. So even while we were out there, a lot of your participants gave two pieces of feedback. One, that they wanted it to move a longer distance. Because apparently 8 foot seemed a little short for them because they wanted that. Their draw cycle takes longer than what that 8 seconds allows. Okay, cool. I can understand that. Well, the other comments that they made was that, it's kind of slow. Realistically, we designed it to be about 2.5 to 2.7 miles per hour, so that it's the equivalent of a deer that's walking through the woods that has no idea that you're there.
Right. Okay.
But they said that it was too slow. Okay. So on the monster, we accommodated for that. We can go anything from 2.5 to 4 miles an hour.
Wow.
Jesus.
And 4 miles an hour is screaming. I will tell you now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't shoot a lot of things that move at that speed. A walk is fine. If they're running, I'm not drawing back on it.
Yeah.
So when we were out testing it at Bob's house a couple of weeks ago, we took a couple pretty cool videos. They're up on YouTube and social media. But we put a cluster of trees in the middle of the track. And so now you've got the deer is coming around, it tucks behind the trees. And then when it comes out, that's when I took the shot. And I was 25 yards out. Well, I still hit a 10 ring at 4 miles an hour.
Wow.
Kudos to me. But it was everything I could do to get it there, because that thing, as soon as it comes from behind the trees, I had to let that arrow go because there was no way I was hitting it otherwise.
Yeah, right. But it sounds like if it's on the slow mode, let's say 2.5 or 2.7 miles per hour, you will have enough time for a second shot, right? So
all day long.
Yeah. So you can take that quartering 2 maybe, and then you'll have enough time to knock another arrow, and then take another shot as it's quartering away, as it's going around and away from you.
Right.
So you'll get a couple of shots out of one sequence, basically.
Actually, more than that. So if you want to empty your quiver, so when we were in Pennsylvania, we had two different models. One was a push and hold, and as long as you were holding the button, the target was moving. When you let go, the target stopped.
Right.
The other one was push the button once, it ran from one end of the station to the other.
Right.
Stops. This one, if you push the button once, it will continue to roll in that oval track until you tell it to stop.
Nice.
So if you wanted to just let it roll and empty your quiver into it, or have 10 people let it roll and empty the quiver into it, you can do that.
That's awesome.
It's going to look like a pin cushion. So you can get out there.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the running deer PA Bow Fest. So I think you and I talked about this, Sam, at Archery Fest. There's a local bow fest that's been going on. I couldn't even tell you how long it's been here now, but they have this running deer, and the deer, I'm pretty sure it's not foam anymore. If it is, it's like cans of great foam that have been sprayed into it and like reshaped.
Sure.
But this thing runs and it rocks back and forth like it's running. And it's just on a trolley, and there's a guy that sits in this little shed, and he hits the button and it goes down one way and then slows down and it spins and then runs back toward the shed. And when I tell you there's a bank behind it, they usually get about 100 shooters on the line at a time. And it's like, if it's not in the deer, there's 1,000 arrows in that bank.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can definitely see that if you just let that thing run, even 3 miles an hour and just say, okay, guys, you get whatever you have in your quiver to shoot on.
Yeah.
Go. So, yeah, that'd be pretty interesting to watch.
But yeah, that's awesome, though, that you can just let that thing keep going in circles.
Yep.
That's really awesome.
100%.
Yeah.
And, like I said, it's 12-foot distance change. It's 18 feet long linear distance.
Okay.
So from one end of the other and then you got that 12-foot distance change in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And when you start talking about, to some level, you're shooting about from this past weekend that are dealing with those stationary targets. It's a known distance. It's not moving at all.
Right.
You've got all the time in the world to draw back, settle in, make sure your pin's right, your bubble's right, to get that perfect shot on it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with a moving target, those odds are out the window.
Yep.
You don't have that.
Yeah. And that's real world.
Yes.
That's the real world.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's awesome for training.
Yes.
You can't get anything better. So
no, definitely not. And that's I was so glad that you liked that post after, we talked, and I was like, man, this guy's going to actually drive out from Colorado.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because how this all came about, I don't know if you remember, but when we were doing the course, we were setting the course up. I said, man, it would really be nice if we can get one of these things to move.
Uh-huh.
And then a week or two later, boom.
Yep.
You said, you're not going to believe this. I just spoke to a guy who has a target for us.
Yep.
So it's just funny how it all came together.
But that's what it's all about, is finding the right people to get you what you're looking for and build it up, and let's rock and roll.
Yeah, that's it. And that's like your demeanor in person itself. Yeah, I mean, everybody that talked to you and, loves talking about you and loved hearing more about the product. And, our goal here is obviously, our range is not built to have a lot of 3D done on it. And because I would have loved to have one just to put in there.
Yeah.
But, our goal here is, with all the clubs that we work with, people we know, is obviously to try to help move some platforms for you.
Yep.
But so I know the cost, and you don't have to tell the cost, but is there a future of the consumer version?
Absolutely. Now, it's the fun part with the folks, and I know this because I've had the discussions. Typically, folks that play in the archery space have a little bit of disposable income.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So while I would love to focus towards the archery ranges, the archery tournament venues like Montage Mountain Archery Fest, the reality is I want to sell to consumers as well. And I do know that they have the disposable income because I know what they just spent on their bows, their sight, and their arrows.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And if I know that you're going to an archery fest and you're taking 3 dozen arrows with you because you're going to blow some up, you've got some play money.
Right.
So when you're looking at the 8-foot mover at about $2,000, the 10-foot mover is about $2,400. It's not unaffordable.
Yeah.
It's a little spendier than what some people may want to spend. But the reality is, like you said, the training opportunity that you get out of it to help make yourself a better shot and a better hunter is worth every penny on it.
Yeah.
100%.
And, the other thing too, Sam, is, you don't have to look at it as an individual purchase, right? You get a couple buddies together and now all of a sudden, you get 5 or 6 guys, you spend a few $100 each, and then boom, now you've got a target that everyone can use.
Horrible.
Yes, absolutely.
So what you're saying, Doug, is we're going to buy one for your backyard.
Possibly. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me know and I'm happy to share one.
Yeah.
But now, so the consumers, unless they see you at a shoot or find you on Facebook or YouTube or what have you, are you planning on doing a bigger show loop this coming year, 2025, to get in front of some people?
That's a great question, Greg. And as I've gone through 2024, hitting a number of events across the country, from Grand Junction, Colorado, to New Mexico, to Pennsylvania, to Wisconsin, I'm realizing that, it's time well spent, but I could probably spend it better in other directions.
Sure. Yeah.
At that same kind of tone, you and I talked about this a day or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most likely going to be spinning up my own 3D archery event as well.
Awesome.
Which will be focused towards the military veterans and military spouses. And,
very nice.
Kind of taking that across the country
for sure
to really support the military community.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm going to have a couple of these monsters inside of that event as well that'll be traveling around.
Nice.
That's awesome. Well, the reason I brought it up, obviously, there's lots of shows out there.
Yep.
But one of the biggest, considered to be the biggest in the country, is here in Pennsylvania. So if you decide that you want to do that, I'm sure we have some volunteers that would love to come down and help you out and support you.
Yeah.
We could definitely have the conversations as we get closer. For sure.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it's for our listeners, Sam will give you all the information where to find it, but it's Archery the letter N, Motion, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and then you can obviously get linked to his website. But if you haven't seen one of these, we tried to put up, I still have, if you would have saw the emails Sam was sending me with video and pictures.
Yeah.
I didn't think my email was going to work anymore. And I still have lots to post. And obviously with tournament season in swing, my surgery a couple of weeks ago, I just been kind of laxed on getting some of that stuff done. But you'll see a lot more of it on the High Times page, the Shooters Group page from the event. We'll be posting a bunch of stuff here on the Huntcast side. So make sure you guys look at this thing, because as Sam said, it's not just for archery. So you're a rifle shooter, you're a handgun shooter, you're a police department, you're whatever. There's so many avenues that this target system or this platform can be used for that, as Sam said, if you have some of that disposable income, or you, as Doug said, you have a couple buddies, hey, let's jump in and buy one of these. It's a phenomenal unit. And
what you didn't see while we were out there is because you guys don't actually have sunlight, apparently.
Shut up, Sam.
I'm not judging, man. I'm just saying.
He's not wrong.
So we've designed it so that it's very accommodating, right? Whether you want to run it indoors or outdoors, off a wall power, off a generator, or even off a solar panel.
Yeah,
it will accommodate for anything. It's just out there that solar panels way out of place.
Yeah. And that's the hard part for us. Like even guys that run trail cameras out here, if they're not sunshade solar systems, they won't work.
Yeah.
So like I use solar on all of my trail cameras, but they don't need direct sunlight. They're called sunshade panels. So as long as there's ambient light,
right,
it charges the battery.
Just simple daylight.
Right. But yeah, no, and especially where we had the one on the course, obviously the generator. So we use generators for the two that Sam brought out.
Yeah.
They ran flawlessly. I think we had one run out of gas at one point, but that wasn't the target's fault. It was the generator.
Yeah.
But, we hit it enough out of the way so it wouldn't get shot at.
Yep.
And
yeah, people didn't even know it was there.
No.
Probably. Yeah.
Nope. And like I said, they ran great. So the solar system, obviously, using solar panels, that would be really cool because then you don't have to worry about gas.
Yep. Or if you're an indoor range, it's going to be plugged into the wall and
never have to worry about
it. Yeah.
Go.
Yep.
Life's
Awesome.
easy.
Yeah.
We really did try to accommodate for every scenario. At the recent event out here in Colorado Springs, we took it. So we back it up. Out in Pennsylvania, we had it to where your volunteers were running the units for us.
Yes.
Which was fantastic. Appreciated every minute of it. While we were here in Colorado Springs at one of the recent events, we decided to change it up a little bit, because I got bored. So I actually had the individual shooters running it themselves.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
So during the draw cycle, you're going to nock an arrow, you're going to attach your release. And as you draw the string back, I had the buttons attached to the bino harness so they could just push it with a thumb. It would start moving. They could finish their draw cycle, get lined up on it, and let the arrow fly.
Yeah.
Huh.
It really did prove the point that it's designed for a single individual shooter to run,
Right.
operate, set up, and roll with it.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
You know, here's an idea. Just hit me as we're talking about this. You're talking about someone that can actually activate it while they're shooting.
Right.
How about like a foot pedal where you can tap it with your foot while you're at full draw?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we've talked about that a couple times. There's a couple minor caveats with that. One, the foot pedal means that you have to stretch out a wire cable.
Yep.
That has to go whatever that 100-yard distance is.
Yep.
That's a little bit more cumbersome. It's a little more clunky to lug around. It's a lot of weight. Because even when we were in Pennsylvania, when we were taking one of the units down, we tore it all apart and fit it in the back of that little
Master.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Right. So we want to make sure it fits in a very small space.
Yeah.
So using the foot pedal, yes, it would work better. Yes, it makes it easier, but it does add extra weight and design features to the unit.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm trying to keep it wireless, so it's ultra lightweight and it's easy to function.
Gotcha.
No, let me ask you this.
When you start talking about the firearm side, that's an extra cable that could get cut by rounds that are splintering off when they hit steel plate.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Go ahead.
So our local sportsman's club, they do a lot of skeet. So obviously, guys are yelling pull. So they have actual wireless microphones.
Yep.
That connect to a receiver. Now somebody draws back. Obviously, talking can be done while you're at full draw, because we all go, man, when a deer comes in. So, possibility, I don't know what the cost of that stuff is. I just know that we have them over there, because that's the unfortunate part of being a member. You have to work a skeet shoot. So you learn about how to make those things run.
Right.
But yeah, it was just a thought when Doug said the foot pedal, and I was like, wait a minute. We have like wireless things over there.
Yeah.
Right. So when you start talking about the voice control, it's definitely a possibility for us. It's probably going to be phase 2, phase 3 as we dig a little bit deeper into other capabilities.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely out there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome.
So Sam, where exactly in Colorado were you from?
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs.
That's where I live currently. I'm originally from the Boulder area.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha. And so let's move over to the live animal stuff. Tell us a little bit about some of your hunts.
Well, so this year I pulled first choice for Colorado, either sex tags for deer, elk, and bear. I ended up with another weighted preference point for moose.
Oh, nice.
And another preference point for a pronghorn.
Nice.
So I'll at least have most of September. What are we looking at? September 2nd or the 30th in Colorado, Western Slope, to go over and do deer, elk, and bear, all the same unit.
Okay.
Nice.
So that, pretty much anything that walks in front of me is going on the ground at that point.
Right.
And now
those are all archery tags.
And you don't hunt really like in your backyard on the eastern part of the state. You typically travel to the western part of the state.
Well, so my backyard is, I only live on a quarter acre here in Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
While there are deer that walk through Colorado Springs because we're at 7,000 feet.
Yep.
The better hunting is over on the western slope.
Gotcha. Okay.
Makes sense.
Yep.
And now, are you talking Western Slope? You don't have to tell me the unit, but town. Give me a town.
So north of Rifle, Beaker, Craig.
Okay, yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of what I figured, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so the folks, your outfitters that were there for the Archery Fest
Yep.
or their hunt giveaway, kind of the same area where they're at.
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
And so you guys just screwed us, though, Colorado. You just screwed all of us after this
Yeah, I
year.
saw that. Starting next year.
The no over the counter thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad about it. I kind of don't.
I bet. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, it was funny because so Glenn, who you met, who won the elk hunt, I texted him as soon as I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you got lucky. He
Yeah.
was like, what are you talking about? I said, well, because after this year, you can't just go to Colorado and buy a tag.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, great. And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, good because you're going, but I can't go this year. So,
Yeah. And it's funny.
So it just means you need to learn how to play the Colorado draw game.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I live with my cousin for 3 months so I can become a resident. I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. But, when I read that, the first thing that popped into my head was Glenn.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, man, he's going to get screwed this year. And then I saw that it was starting next year. So,
yep.
Let's say that'll be okay, though. I mean, it's just, I believe there are other states that still have over the counter.
Oh, yeah.
Arizona, sure. I believe, has over the counter.
What?
Idaho, I believe, has over the counter.
Utah, Montana, Wyoming, all have over the counter.
Okay. Yeah. So,
and that was, like I said, it's, it's not hard to draw because obviously we've hunted in states where there's draws and points and that whole deal. But it was just nice when, hey, I want to go.
Yeah.
Especially up in that area, up in that Meeker area. Everybody knows that's a really big area for bulls, especially.
Yep.
And you have a couple over the counter units. It was just nice. Like, okay, having to, fly out and go hunt for a week or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But
now I'm sure that guys like you, typical resident hunters were happy with that decision.
Oh,
was there a lot of pushback from, the other side of it, from all the professional guys, all the guides, the outfitters?
The guides and the outfitters were the ones that were really vocal about going against it.
The hotels, right. All the, campgrounds, all that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually when you talk about the tourist industry, right? The hotels, the restaurants, and those type of places, campgrounds, they're less concerned about it.
Okay.
Because they're still going to get the folks to learn how to play the draw.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Come in for the draw rather than the over the counter.
Yeah.
But the outfitters are the one where, hey, I need a hunt at the last minute. I'll call an outfitter. They'll get me in a property and it's an over the counter tag. It's no big deal. Yeah. Those are the ones that they're losing out a little bit of money there.
Yeah. Yep. And we're going to have Randy and Cheyenne on here in a couple of weeks. And obviously, a lot of their business is non-residents.
Yeah.
So now, the unit they're in where they have that private property is no longer going to be over the counter. So I can only imagine they're going to lose some money for sure.
Yeah. So it's going to change things.
So.
Yeah. It'll change things.
Yep.
But like anything else, when things change like this, guys will pick up the system and they'll figure it out.
They'll figure it out. Yeah.
And it's going to work. So it just takes a little learning.
Folks like Randy Newberg have done probably 5 different videos about how to do a draw in Colorado.
Yeah.
Randy or Corey Jacobson, same way.
Yeah.
All those guys, they've done the videos about how to do the draws and how to make it successful and how to play the game. And then when you look at things like Go Hunt or Hunt with Odin or Onyx, all of those are designing around how to help hunters be more successful to get into the draw, find the right unit, and even potentially drop those animals once they get there.
Right. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's, the draw systems work. It's not, it's not like it's impossible. It's tens of thousands of guys go out west every year and it works. It's just Colorado was kind of what I think was probably maybe like a backup plan. Right. I'm gonna put in I'll put in for Montana and Wyoming. If I don't get drawn, well, screw it. I'll just pack up. I'll go to Colorado.
Yeah.
So that was always like a plan B,
right?
Which is nice.
Yeah.
But it'll all work.
It can still be now it just becomes plan A and you look at the others.
That's it. Right. Yeah. That's that's it. That's exactly right.
Because there's guys that it's not just the guys that go out for elk and they want color phase bears or pronghorns. I mean, for us to go to Kansas, it's a draw.
Yeah.
For deer. So it's not like we can just get up and go and hey, I'm going to Kansas this week to go kill a whitetail.
Right.
So, I mean, guys obviously figure it out. But you mentioned, you just ran through, you said go hunt in Onyx and hunt with Odin. Can you tell me a little bit about Hunt with Odin?
Sure. So I met Stuart, who's one of the co-founders of Hunt with Odin earlier this year. It's a small startup based out of Colorado. And what they're doing is trying to be a competitor to Go Hunt or to Onyx by designing a map that's really specific for the hunter. So if the hunter jumps on the website, and he wants to dig into what's a functional unit? I'm 55, and I'm not 55, by the way. I'm 55 as a hunter. I've got a bad knee. I've got a bad back. I want to hunt elk. I don't want to be climbing up 14,000 foot mountains.
Yep.
What's a reasonable hunt? What's a
first draw 1 point unit that I can get into. And I want, away from people, but not a 14-mile hike. I just want a 2-mile hike. It drills down into what that unit really looks like, or identifies a handful of units for that individual to help them be more successful.
Nice.
And see, I knew that, but I'm not going to tell you how I knew that. I'll let Sam tell you how I know that.
So I introduced Greg to Stuart a while back.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, it's a really cool app they're building. And I'm like, are you like, can you make it bigger? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like other states, just because that's a big thing. And see, now he's gonna make me talk bad about people, and I don't want to do this. So I have issues with Go Hunt. I just don't like the way their setup is. And Onyx is good, but I don't think they have enough information. So that's where I think Stuart has, kind of the crystal ball in his hand, where he can kind of pick and choose certain things to put in or not put in.
Yeah.
And make it, a nationwide type of thing, similar to Go Hunt Onyx.
Right.
But yeah, I got to see a beta version of it. It's super cool. So I'm looking to see how he does with it.
So right now it's strictly Colorado.
Yep.
Okay.
Right now, yeah. And he's predominantly focused in the elk space right now.
Right.
Okay.
He wants to grow into the rest of the big game. So bear, deer, pronghorn, probably by the end of this year and early into next year.
So
I've already made the recommendation. Hey, also do turkey.
Yeah, turkey would be a good one.
Yeah, right. So is it up and running? Is it functional right now?
He's got a solid beta application that works really well.
Okay.
They're going through their next round of design.
Okay, cool.
I've already looked at the next round. It's really cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So he was a super cool guy. Stuart and I did a little Zoom call, and we talked about some different things. And he asked me what I liked about the mapping software we use and things of that nature. So I don't actually have the version. He just happened to share a quick link with me that I was able to look at it and see what it's all about.
Yeah.
So
okay, cool. Yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
going to be interesting.
It's definitely going to change the hunting game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what he's doing, I like what he's doing. That ability to filter out, because that's what it is. Like, we have guys that come in the shop that, hey, I'm going out to Montana, I'm going to Colorado on an elk hunt. Where are you hunting? And they tell me, and I'm like, what? I'm like, how long are you going for? A week? I'm like, are you staying in a lodge or what? No, we're backcountry. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
I'm like, I hope I don't see this guy's obituary in like a month and a half.
And that's just it. You don't really, guys out here from the East Coast, they have no clue.
No.
So that's really it's something that's really needed, because guys are going in blind.
Yeah.
And something like this is really going to be
huge.
Really going to be helpful. So that's an awesome idea. Yeah.
Kind of right there to your point, right? If you guys aren't prepared to come out to the Western states and deal with altitude sickness, and how hard it is to hunt out here.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't mean it bad, so take it for what it is. But we're not taking a shot at a deer 10 yards out and then dragging it 200 yards back to the truck.
Right.
That's just not the scenario.
No.
Right.
No.
My mule deer, so I'm a solo hunter. So my mule deer last year was 2.25 miles back, and I killed it after dark.
Yeah.
So that was 2 miles back in the dark, one trip, 131 pounds packing it out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, it's no joke.
And that's, it's one thing if they're going with an outfitter and they're doing like a wall tent camp type deal, and there's the guides are there.
Yes.
Totally different.
You got somebody cooking food.
Right.
Yeah.
But these guys that have no clue and go out there.
Yeah. Going blind
into the mountains, and, they're just, one, they're not in shape. Two, they don't understand, how to ration correctly. And we did a couple of years ago, we did a big backcountry gear list through our TV show, and I had like all these calories built into my meal plan, and guys were like, why do you need to eat so much? I'm like, dude, you're walking all day, every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big guy, but guess what? I still need to keep something in my stomach.
Yeah.
And so like my average on a like a super strenuous, like backcountry type hunt is 4,000 or more calories a day.
Yeah.
These guys have no idea what that looks like. Some of them shouldn't be hiking in the shape they're in.
Well, you learn the hard way, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, you learn the hard way. So.
And when you get out here and say mule deer typically live somewhere between 6,000 to 9,000 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the bigger bucks will go up into the 10 to 11,000 feet. So that's you're a tree line. That's where the oxygen starts to die.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when you decide you want to go chase elk that start at 9,000 feet and go to 13,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you are well above tree line and there is no oxygen.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
you can find yourself hurting in a bad way.
Yes.
With no way to get out of it.
absolutely.
Yep. And we've had a couple guys that came into the shop and, they were going out, but they'd never been out there. No, they weren't not in shape, but they also didn't understand what they were getting into.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, when are you leaving? There's a lot of things you got to work on. And so we put them on, some mountain op stuff to help with the altitude sickness stuff, because I've seen people get altitude sickness. That ain't no joke.
Yeah.
No, they'll put you down hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And, that's the thing people don't understand is they get it. Well, I was actually with someone when they got it and they wanted to fall asleep. And I'm like, no, you can't sleep. You both wake back up. Like,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, so that's between that and food and just gear, like guys out here. And I'm not picking on anybody, but there's just so many people that hunt Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, all the way up into New England that they're backwoods hunters.
Yeah.
They don't have good backpacks. They don't have good gear. They don't have good clothing. They don't wear the right boots, just a list of things. And they go out there thinking, oh, we're going to walk up and shoot an elk with a 70-pound backpack.
Yeah.
It's not how it works.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, good for you, but
Right.
the odds are not in your favor.
Yeah, no, not at all.
And like you said, Sam, things can go sideways real quick.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
it can get real serious. It could be
Right.
life and death.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you get
So
caught in a bad
two-
situation.
2 years ago, I was chasing some elk, and again, solo hunter. So I got into a blowdown area because I was going to cut the elk off. I was walking across the top of a log that was probably 5 foot up above everything else. Somehow I slipped.
Yep.
I woke up 20 minutes later. All my
Wow.
arrows with broadheads were outside of my quiver.
Wow.
I was cut up. I was bloody.
Holy cow.
The bow's jacked up. Bent
Wow.
a cam. And I'm still in the middle of a blowdown area.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was, okay, pull the medic kit out, fix myself up, get out of the blowdown.
Yeah.
Hike back to the truck, go get the secondary bow. Let's go back out.
Yeah.
Right.
But you were one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Some guys
That's-
might not have woke up.
Well, no, and that's the not only not woke up, but you said this is, and I'm huge with this because I am a certified wilderness first responder. So a med kit, I don't know how many guys I know go out in the woods with no med kits.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if it's a Ziploc bag with Band-Aids and Quick Clot in it.
Whatever.
Right. But take something.
Yeah.
I've had more times than I can count where, if I shot a deer or elk late in the afternoon or in the evening
Mhm.
and I didn't think it through, I do now, but if I didn't think it through I'd let the arrow fly,
Mhm.
I know it was a solid hit. Now I've learned to sit down and eat
Yep.
and
Yeah.
drink.
Yeah.
And let that animal go die.
Yep.
But years past, it was, okay, I'll let the arrow fly. I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to go start tracking it in blood trail because I know it's going to be down in 100 yards or less.
Yeah.
And then by the time I got to it, yep, it's dead. Great. By the time I got an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into cutting this animal up, I'm starving and I'm
Yeah.
getting shaky. And
Yeah.
I've got a very, very sharp knife in my hand.
Yep.
And as I'm moving, I nick my fingers or cut my hand.
Right.
Well, you got to stop everything you're doing. You go fix yourself up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Come back to actually finish processing the rest of that animal.
Yeah.
And all it's doing is getting hungrier, darker, and colder.
Yep. No doubt.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the thing. And that's, there's so many things out there now. Like, we do a bait, and it's obviously doesn't compare to being out in, 10,000 feet, but we take some of the kids from our giant team on a hike up in the High Peaks area of upstate New York. So Mount Marcy, we're doing Mount Marcy this year, and it's the highest peak in New York State. It's like
I was
6,000.
going to say it's 6,000 or something,
like
right?
6,400 or something.
Yeah.
Now, I've been out west. Doug's been out west. I've been way up in Colorado, past 13,000.
It's a whole different world.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Different world.
But that's, last year, a couple of kids were like, why do you always have like protein or, whatever snacks in your pockets, like while you're walking? I said, because I have to walk at the pace you guys are walking at. not at the pace I would normally walk at. So
Right.
it takes longer to get from A to B. So I'm going to get hungry. So I'd rather just snack on a protein bar, snack on whatever. And then when we get to camp, now I can have my dinner. And I don't ever feel dehydrated or run down or anything. And that's what people need to realize.
Yeah.
Exactly, like you just said, okay, I killed the deer, let's just go find it.
Yeah.
No. Sit down, relax.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
Sit
It's
down,
dead.
eat.
Yeah.
Right.
So
And it's the best thing. Like I said, it's taken me years to learn it, but now that I have, it's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
You've got a belly full of food. You're fully hydrated. You're calm.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now you can go process that animal. And as a solo hunter, where I don't have anybody else to help me, I need every bit of energy I can to cut that deer or that elk up.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And not only is it
As
that,
it's done,
but
now I'm
you
packing
make better decisions when
Correct.
you're not dehydrated or not full and have
And
a
you're not
bite.
in a hurry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
But that's just another layer to the whole Western hunt, right? Like we don't have to deal with that here.
no.
Here,
Exactly.
we're never more than, a mile from a road. I mean,
Right,
and even where we hunt here in
Mhm.
PA, it's a half mile to a road.
I could be in the house in
Right.
700
Yes.
yards.
So it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
And, you need to take that into account when you go out west. It's not what you're used to.
Right.
So,
Right. Unless you are spike camping as you're moving.
yeah.
And even then, it's a different ballgame.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a little bit more feasible. Like, okay, my tent is only a mile away.
Yeah.
Where all my other gear is, but it's, some of these guys go out and they truck camp and then they hike in every day. And hey, more power to them. It's just, that just creates, okay, you're parked here with all of your stuff and you just walked 4 miles up a mountain. Guess what? It's 4 miles back down if you need something.
Yeah.
And that's if you're smart enough to hunt up and hike down.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
I've run into a bunch of guys where, well, the elk are low, so I'm going to go down to them.
Yeah.
That's a mistake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bad
You
move.
got to pack them up the hill.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Well, listen, these are things you just learn with experience, right? So,
Or the hard way.
yeah.
Yeah.
You learn.
Yep.
Yeah. So,
But yeah, so give us all your socials, all your web, all that stuff. How can people find you and find
you already
Archery
covered it.
Motion?
It's Archery, the letter N Motion, and that covers every bit of social media from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Medium, for blog posts. It's all the same thing there.
Okay.
The website is also the same. It's http://archeryinmotion.com.
Awesome.
okay.
So guys, if you want to see one of these, obviously you can email us. We have a plethora of videos.
I was about to say, you haven't even dug into this.
Yeah, no, I haven't even touched them. It's like, I think I've loaded up like 5 of them or 6 of them or something. But there was literally 28 WeTransfers emails that I got, and they all had like 15, whether they were videos or photos or whatever.
Whatever file. Yeah.
I'm like, ka-cling. What is that? Oh, Sam sent me another one. Ka-cling. Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah.
And they're on for
And they
2
were all
days.
Two gigs each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you will definitely see a lot more from us. But if you want to see something specific and you email us at huntcastpodcast@gmail.com, I will dig through all the videos and send them over to you.
Yeah.
Check out, Sam does an awesome job with Facebook and Instagram. He always has videos going up. He had my pretty mug on there a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I did a little video for him when we got done with Archery Fest up at Montage and talked a little bit about the target or the platform. But definitely, if you have not seen this, take a look at it. Go to his socials. Go to his YouTube page.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the monster in full action.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That thing's going to
So
be...
there's look for the teaser video because it is out on YouTube right now.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. Look
And
for
it
that.
just says teaser.
Okay. All right. So now you have to find out tomorrow and share it to the social pages.
Yeah. Cool.
But Sam, man, we can't thank you enough, number one, for coming out here.
Yep.
We're super glad that we got to meet you and become friends and talk. And, we're definitely coming on
We're
here.
not done.
No, definitely not done. We got some stuff. We'll have lots of more stuff to talk about. But
Yeah.
we have,
Exactly.
Sam has learned a lot about me in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
It's taken Bug 3 years to figure it out. And Sam had to learn it in about 3 months.
Yeah.
And that was okay because it was worthwhile. It was a great connection. And happy to do it again.
Awesome. And so when you see his videos, a lot of the targets that he uses in his videos are big shots, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Al and Hunter from Big Shot were great to partner with me early last year and said, hey, we love the idea of the moving target. So let's send you a bunch of targets. That way you can show off what it's capable of and
cool.
show some of our targets, because in Colorado, Big Shots is not a big name.
Right.
Most of the
it's all
ranges
Reinhardt
out here
stuff, right?
strictly use Reinhardt.
Yeah.
We're going to change
Nice.
that. We're going to help change that. We're going to get Big Shot but kids out there.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but did you actually see what Big Shot just brought out?
Quiver, yeah. So that's also a Colorado-based company.
Yep. So the X-ray scan of your deer target. So you can tell where you hit it.
Yep.
Really?
So
I haven't seen that yet.
yeah.
So it's all well and good to look at rings on a target.
Yep.
But the last I checked, there were no rings on the animals.
Right.
We'll leave that there.
Yep. Absolutely.
I was talking with Rob, who owns Quiver, and we got to talking about potentially bringing a couple of his Quiver targets down to put them on the moving target so that you can actually see what that looks like as you're shooting a moving target.
Awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Well, a lot of things in the works.
See, Sam drops names. He's good at it.
Yeah.
We're all in it together.
Yeah,
Well,
man. Yeah, that's true.
But no, so you will definitely see a lot more of Huntcast with Sam, High Times with Sam.
Yep.
Archery Fest at ? Location for next year. But yeah, and possibly some more stuff. Sam and I chit-chatted a little bit. I gave him a little bit of a sneak peek of the conversations that'll go on over the next couple of weeks with some folks. But yeah, so we're excited. Thank you for being our first live guest on Huntcast podcast.
You're a pioneer.
You're a pioneer. And it all worked. We were all afraid. We were calling. I've had to call Doug's phone to make sure that the Bluetooth thing worked because we never trusted it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, great. Sam's in the call. I'm not going to hear him.
Yeah, no, it sounded good. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Sam, thank you again. Archery in Motion, guys. Go check them out. Buy yourself one. Get your buddies together. Buy one. If you have a local club that you shoot at a lot, this adds unbelievable fun to a 3D course.
Absolutely.
So make sure to pitch it to them. And other than that, Sam, we'll be in touch, I'm sure. And we're gonna call it a night for episode 13.
Yep.
Again, Sam from Archery in Motion, Greg and Doug here. We will be back on next Wednesday, or Wednesday. So this is how this goes. Next Sunday. We'll be in July. We're going to talk about some stuff, and we will be back on YouTube with videos. I promise. We just had so much going on over the last couple of weeks. It's been tough. So we'll be back on there, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Okay.